So let us spend time in discussing the Karaṇīyamettā Sutta. Whenever you see the word Sutta, and Sutta means the sermon or the discourse given by the Buddha himself. And we chant many other chanting and praises, but whenever you see the word Sutta, that means that is a teaching or sermon or discourse given by the Buddha. Those are called Sutta. So there are many suttas, many discourses given by the Buddha, because Buddha lived after becoming enlightened for 45 years. And he trained disciples, he gave so many teachings and sermons. So most of those sermons or discourses or teachings were preserved. So therefore we have many suttas. Some people ask, what is the book of the Buddhists? What is the book of the Buddhists? We had to say, our teacher, our religious teacher lived 45 years after becoming enlightened. So he has a lot of time to teach. Many other religious leaders couldn't live that long. They passed away within short period of time. But Buddha lived for 45 years and training and teaching and traveling in different places. So he gave so many teachings. Of course, in terms of topics, the main teachings are the same, but there are many discourses and sermons given by the Buddha explaining different aspects of the same basic teachings. Therefore, we have many sutras, but they are categorized, they are classified into sections. So we usually call three pitaka or three baskets. And in that basket, the most important basket is the Sutta Pitaka, the collection of the sutras, the sermons of the Buddha. So in that section, we have 5 subsections. And this sutta belongs to the last section, the Khuddakapāṭha, the last section. So let us try to discuss this. Metta Sutta. Metta is usually translated as loving kindness, but word metta is coming from the word mitta, which means friend. So metta can also mean friendliness. But it's not simple kind of friendliness. It is more open, unlimited, unconditional kind of friendliness towards all beings. Therefore, we usually translate it as loving kindness. Sometimes we also translate it as loving friendliness. But the most frequently used word is loving kindness. But Pali word metta has that sense of friendliness, being a friend to the world. That is the idea, being a friend to the true friend, being a true friend to all beings. The friend means genuinely, with genuine heart, willingly, with compassion, kindness, being a friend. So that is called metta. So let us try to understand the meaning of this metta. So this sutta is an explanation, a gradual explanation about how we should practice loving kindness, how we should develop our loving friendliness, our metta. This sutta has few sections. The first 3 stanzas are about qualities that we need to grow as preparation for radiating metta to other beings. So the first 3 stanzas are not talking about the metta, not talking about loving kindness, but talking about the other qualities, other virtues that we need to develop if we really want to radiate metta in a true sense. So first 3 stanzas is one section talking about the qualification or preparation we need to have. And then fourth and fifth stanzas described about how we should radiate our loving kindness limitlessly. And the sixth stanza explain about not only we radiate loving kindness, but we also wish others to radiate loving kindness. And the seventh one is describing more about intensity of loving kindness. And the last three, or the eighth stanza also is describing about the different, radiating loving kindness to different directions. And the ninth and 10th describes about how loving kindness practice can be a part of our spiritual practice and how it can help our overall spiritual growth. So this is a sutta which has number of sections. So let us talk about the first one. First three stanzas are not about loving kindness, but other qualities that we need to develop. So let us read the first stanza together. Karaniyamettā kusalena yang tang sang tang padang abhisamecce sakko ujuca sujuca suvaco chassa mudu anatimani. Okay, yeah. Let's discuss that. Okay, the first stanza, we have this word Karaniya atta kusalena. Atta kusala is a term to refer to a particular kind of person. Atta kusala. Atta means benefit or well-being. Kusala means skillful. So that means a person who is skillful in knowing one's own benefit or one's own well-being. Because it is a skill to know what are beneficial to you in a true sense and what are not beneficial to you. So many people engage in certain addictions, certain behavior, not really knowing what is really beneficial for them. So atta kusala means a person who is skillful in distinguishing what is beneficial for him and what is not beneficial for him. So Buddha talks about a person, a personality, about a skillful person who is capable of knowing this and distinguishing this. And such a person should behave like this. And that is the meaning here. So if you can really reflect on your mind, on your life, that am I aware of things that are not beneficial to me, and can I really distinguish what is beneficial and what is not beneficial to me in terms of my behavior? And as a disciple of the Buddha, we learn what are truly beneficial to us, what kind of behavior, what kind of virtues, what kind of habits which are truly beneficial to us and which are not beneficial to us. So Atta Kusala is a person who has achieved that kind of knowledge. So such a person, and also a person who would like to achieve a state of peace. Santang padang. Santang means peace, and padang means state. A peaceful state. That means the enlightenment, nibbana. So such a person should first develop these qualities, and then the sutta explains those qualities. So Karaniya means must be done or should be done. So these should be done by a person who is skillful in knowing one's well-being, and also one who wishes to attain the supreme peace state of peace, a state of supreme peace. Okay, so these are the quality. First one is sakho, means able. Means first we have to be a person who is able, who is going forward, and we can be. We should be a person who is willing to test, willing to act, willing to take challenge, and an able person. That means sakho. So if you really want to practice towards the state of peace, and if you are also a person who is capable of knowing what is beneficial and not beneficial, and these qualities need to be developed first as a preparation to practice loving kindness. First you have to be a person who is able, is not lazy, who is not going backward, but going forward, straightforward, and able person. And that's an important quality according to this sutta. The second one is uju, means again upright in your behavior, in your conduct. Is upright here means honest, and also confident in one's practice. And then suju, again qualifying the upright quality more as perfectly upright. So first three qualities is describing about the energy, being able, being upright, being perfectly upright, and those qualities needed to be developed in a person's life. And then the next line set of qualities are quite opposite, not opposite, but balancing those first three qualities. The last line, suvacho, means ready to listen. The literal meaning of suvacha, nuvacha means the words, and suvacha means ready to listen. That means obedient. And then mudu means gentle, and anatimani means humble. So these, we have 6 qualities here. First 3 is about being upright, being able, being going forward. And the next 3 qualities balances the first 3 qualities. If you are only able and upright, and you will be arrogant, right? So therefore you have to be able, you have to be upright, you have to be confident what you are doing, and you should be ready to test your practice, you should be ready to take commitments. But at the same time, we have to balance that qualities with last 3. Being ready to listen, obedient, and gentle, and humble. So what this says that, practicing loving kindness is not actually simple thing, we think that, okay, may all beings be well and happy, So of course we can make that wish, we can genuinely, make that wish. But in order for us to practice loving kindness in true sense, in really deeper true sense, first we have to get ready for that. We have to prepare ourselves with these qualities. That is what this sutta is saying. That there's a preparation has to be done. So those qualities. And let's move to the next one, and then it explains further qualities that we need in order to practice loving kindness. Let us read and chant this verse first. Santussako-ca subharo-ca appakicco-ca sallahoka-vutti santrindriyo-ca nipako-ca appagabbo kulesu ananugidho. Okay. Santussaka means contented. contentment and being contented. And the next quality is also related to that. Subhara means that easy to maintain. Yeah. Subhara means easy to maintain or easy to support. Like you have few needs. It is easy for someone to look after you. So you have to become like it's like being simple or frugal. And those qualities are given as qualities that is related to loving kindness, that qualities that we need to practice loving kindness in true sense. Think about like if person is not contented, if person is not easily supportable, that means he has many needs, and he need many resources to live his life. He can have many belongings, and he may use a lot of resources, simply to live his life. He may use many number of clothes, many number of other things. So think about that. Are those acts of loving kindness? Right? So these qualities actually prepare ourselves to truly practice loving kindness. And if one is contented and one is easily supportable, means if one can satisfy with basic needs, that means he will not become a burden to the environment. He will not exploit natural resources. He will not exploit other beings. And that itself is a part of loving kindness. If someone is not contented or easily supportable, and so his lifestyle is not matching with practice of loving kindness. So what Buddha has taught us in this discourse in first two stanzas is to help us to develop these qualities in our life that is in aligning with actual loving kindness practice. Then only we can truly radiate our loving kindness. So being contented and easily supportable. And subhara is an important word to say that it is easily supportable. And then appakicho. Appa means small or little. Kicha means activities or duties. Which means that one should be a person who is not that busy, or is not, have a lot of duties to fulfill that he even actually cannot fulfill fully. So, so that is also considered one of the good quality. Is that having amount of duties that you can actually fulfill, and not simply taking all the duties and you're just making yourself so busy, so committed, so overwhelming responsibilities and duties that you actually cannot fulfill. And it's better to have selected duties that you can actually fulfill. And it is considered a quality that helps loving kindness. And the next one is called sallahuka vutti. Sallahuka means simple, vutti means livelihood. So simple livelihood. So what Buddha is saying here is that in order for us to truly have time and space in our mind to practice loving kindness, we have to have a simple life first. If your life is so complicated and you don't even have time to have concern about others and have a deeper practice. So these are the preparation that is not really asking you to run away from the responsibilities and duties, but be practical. Be practical and minimize unnecessarily making your life busy and complicated, and make your life simple as a part of this practice. And the next one is santindriyocha nipakocha. Indriya means senses, and santi indriya means calmed senses. Just like what we are doing in this meditation practice, we try to calm our senses, we try to teach our senses to calm themselves and not to look for excitements. And that also part of our practice of loving kindness. And that help a person to be contented too. And then Nipako here is given as discrete, which means Nipaka also means intelligent, being able to see what is the best thing to perform in a given moment, being intelligent, being thoughtful. Yeah, discern, yeah. Okay. Yeah, being able to discern and have that skillful mind that you can decide what is the best thing to do at that moment. So we usually use Nipaka also for intelligent, for wise person. And Appagabho, this is the Pagabha means a person who always disturb others. Means we have, without our knowing, we have certain behavior, the way we walk, the way we move our hands, and sometimes the way we speak can be a kind of speech or behavior that always disturb others. We may speak loud, we may move fast, we may do things without having any concern for others. So some people have this kind of habit. So we call it pagabha, the behavior that he has a habit of behaving in a way that he disturb the peace of any gathering whenever he come to that place. He's not doing it intentionally, but he has that quality. So we call pagabha. And appagabha means not having that kind of quality. So being gentle and being caring for others, and always being careful whether my speech and my behavior are hurting somebody in any way. That is called appagabha. And the last one is quite tricky. Kulesu ananugiddo, not greedily attached to families, or not hankering after families. And some people have little trouble with that, because this is about loving kindness. This is about helping us to prepare ourselves to have loving kindness. But it says here that not greedily attached to families. So how come we're supposed to love our family, but here it says that not greedily attached to families? What do you think about that? Is it contradictory, or does it have another meaning?
It's a kind of selflessness.
Selflessness, okay. Unnecessarily. Definitely. So I think we can combine, your answers, both of your answers. One is the true loving kindness, true metta, is a kind of loving relationship, of friendliness, that has no sense of control. In family relationship, we love our family members, but there's a danger in that love, in that relationship. Without our knowing, we want to control the other parties. Yeah, control. We want to control. We want to, dictate. So what Buddha has done here, that to purify that kind of relationship. Of course, we are in our family. We have a good relationship with our family, but we have to purify the relationship, removing unnecessary control, unnecessary obsession, unnecessary ownership, to our family members, then only that loving kindness become a truly a pure loving kindness. And of course, as brother mentioned, so if we too much attached to family, and then that doesn't allow us to radiate a loving kindness beyond our family. And so that is an area actually we really need to pay attention and clean a little bit, and so Buddha has addressed that in this discourse. So these are the qualities that we need to grow in our life as a part of our practice of loving kindness. It's not simply sitting somewhere and wishing for everybody, but it's developing these qualities that go in line with loving kindness. Having these qualities enable us to truly behave and also wish loving kindness to others. And the third stanza mentioned about moral behavior. And can we recite that one first? Nacha kuddhaṃ samācare kiñci yena viññu pare upavadeyuṃ sukhino va kemino hontu sabbe sattā bhavantu sukhitattā. The first two lines explains about moral behavior. Such a person should not commit any slight wrong thing that the wise people will disapprove or wise people will reproach. So in order for us to practice loving kindness, first we have to establish ourselves in good moral behavior. We should train ourselves to be really moral and ethical and virtuous to the level that a wise people will not disapprove or will not reproach our behavior. And then, only then, we can make this wish. What is the wish? Sukhino va kemino hontu sabbe sattā bhavantu sukhitattā. Only now we actually start genuinely wishing for other people. That means sukhino means be well, kemino means be safe. So may all beings be happy and be safe. And then again, sabbe sattā. Sabbe means all, sattā means beings. Sabbe sattā. And bhavantu means may. Sukhi means happy. Sukhita atta means mind or hearts. So may all beings have happy minds. And that is the meaning. May all beings have happy minds. Or may all beings have happy hearts. So remember that this loving kindness in true practice is a lifestyle. It's not simply a wish. It's a particular way of living, radiating loving kindness to everybody, behaving with loving kindness in our speech, in our behavior, in everything. But in order to do that, we need to develop these qualities. First, we need to train establish ourselves in these qualities in line with loving kindness. So it is being able, upright, perfectly upright, obedient, gentle, humble, contented, easily supportable, with few duties, simple in livelihood, control senses, and being prudent or intelligent, and being careful in one's behavior, caring behavior, and not greedily attached to families, and also establish oneself in moral behavior. And then we are ready to practice loving kindness. So, when we come to practice loving kindness, there's also a particular way that we should practice loving kindness. And the number 4 and 5, Buddha describe different classes of beings. When you practice loving kindness, we have to go beyond different categories. So Buddha purposely mentioned different categories, different groups of beings. We purposely think about them and then radiate our loving kindness. So number 4, let us read. Ye keci pana bhutatta Nati tasava tavarava anavasesa Digha ye mahantava majjima rasnsa kanukatula. Okay. So now we are going to think about all beings. So whatsoever living beings there are. And then it mentioned tasava tavarava. Tasa means shaking, or tavara means stable. So whether it could mean either whether beings who are moving and beings who are not moving, or mobile beings or immobile beings. But here it is translated as the beings who are feeble or strong. So those are the categories of beings. And then also it explains in terms of length. Digha, long beings, and mahanta means really big sized beings. So when you think about these different categories, we should remember different kind of beings belong to these categories. When you say Digha, the long beings, which being come to your mind? Which? Snakes. Snakes, anaconda, right? Yeah. So that is mahanta, means big, huge. So this first is in terms of length, long beings and huge beings. So we think about all these categories. So the huge beings could be elephants, could be hippopotamus, and all kind of big ones. And then majjima means medium size. So the medium size will be like cows, horses. And then a small one, very small, tiny ones like rabbits, yeah, rats, small ones. So in terms of the size. So first category is thinking about in terms of size, different sizes. And then we go to the other categories, so the think about other ways. Let us read that. Dittava yeva addittha yecha dure vasanti avidure bhutavasang bhavesiva sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. Okay. So first we think about the beings in terms of their size. And now we think about different beings in terms of our relationship with those beings. The beings that we have seen, the beings that we have not seen yet. Right? Huh? Yeah, and also certain beings we have not seen. Like I have not seen a rhinoceros, for example. Yeah. Huh? Haven't seen actual one. Maybe zoo, I had to go there. So in that way, so there are beings that we have seen so far, and think about human beings, how many human beings we have seen? And how many more millions of beings that we have not seen, right? So all the beings that we have seen so far, or we have, and then also addittha, that we have not seen so far.
Could these also be beings in other realms?
Sometimes we translate visible and invisible beings. Yeah, that can also mean here. But here if you read the other part, this is about thinking about different beings in terms of our relationship with them. And then dure, yecha dure vasanti avidure, those beings who are living far and near. Means in terms of you, where you are, right? So all the beings living in near and far. So these categories are just to help us to somehow bring all beings into this loving kindness, thinking about all types of categories, not excluding any. So then the third one, bhutava sambhave siva. It is also a very important categorization. The beings who are already born and beings are also in the process of being born. So beings are already born means like us. We are already being born long ago, right? And then who are the beings who are still in the process of being born? Yes, the fetus, the eggs. So you see, for this loving kindness, even those, eggs, all these fertile eggs, not the other eggs. So fertilized egg. So even those things should be included in our loving kindness. They are not really fully beings yet, but they are in the process of being born. So our loving kindness should even pervade, go to those classes of beings. And sabbe sattha, all beings, bhavantu means may, sukhi tattva, have happy mind. May all beings be happy-minded, or may all beings have happy minds. Okay. So far we have covered 2 sections in this sutta. First, describing about the qualities, virtues that go in line with loving kindness that we need to have before we truly practice loving kindness. And then Buddha described about how we should practice loving kindness, incorporating all kind of classes of beings, think about all types of beings. And the next stanza is a different one. And first, we practice loving kindness, and then we should wish that not only I practice loving kindness, not only I radiate loving kindness to others, we should also wish that each and every person also should practice loving kindness each other. That is the 6th stanza. Let us read that. Naparo parang nikubhete nati manyete katha chinang kanchi bhyarosana patiga sanya Nānyamanyasnsa dukkha micchaya. Okay, now we wish that may no one deceive one another or no despise any person whatsoever in any place. Paro means other. Na paro parang nikubbeta. Not only I wish well-being to all other beings, but we also wish that may all other beings, may they each other may not wish harm to each other, may each other also be in loving kindness relationship. So let not one deceive another, nor despise any person whatsoever in any place, and bhyarosana patiga sanya, in anger or in ill will, let no one wish harm to another. Nānya manyasa dukkha micchaya. May not anyone wish suffering of anyone else. So this is a different level of practice in loving kindness. If you think about the early practice of loving kindness, you are in the middle and you had different classes of beings. You radiate loving kindness. May all beings which are long, or may all beings big, may all beings short, may all kind of beings be well and happy, beings I have seen and not seen. It's like you are in the middle, so you are radiating loving kindness to all kind of beings, excluding no one, and you are radiating loving kindness to all beings. And in this stage, you are not simply wishing well-being to other beings. You wish that may all those beings also wish each other well-being and happiness. May those beings also may not wish harm to each other. So if you think about in terms of a web, in the first part of loving kindness, we radiate our loving kindness to all directions, to all beings, to all classes of beings. Like these straight lines. Okay? And this stage, you wish, may those beings also wish each other happiness and well-being, like the other lines of the web. You understand that? That's a different level of practicing loving kindness. You wish that may other beings also wish each other well-being. May other beings also may not wish harm to one another. So it's a different level of practicing loving kindness. So the quite higher level. Because you want other people also to practice loving kindness to each other. Not only you practice loving kindness, you want all other people also wish each other happiness, well-being, may not each other quarrel or fight or harm or hurt. Okay, so far what we discussed was the expansion, we can call it the breadth of loving kindness, how wide it should be, how expansive it should be, including all kind of beings, excluding no one. So far we discussed the width, the breadth of loving kindness. And the seventh one is describing not the breadth, not the breadth, but the intensity, the depth. So let us read that. Mata yata niyang puttang ayusa eka putta manurakke evam pisabba bhutesu manasang bhavaye aparimanang. Okay. So Mata means the mother. Puttang means the child. So Mata yatha niyang puttang. Just as a mother would protect her only child. Niyang means only. So Mata yatha niyang puttang. Just like a mother would protect her only child. Ayusha eka putta manurakke. Evampi sabba bhutesu. Even so, let one cultivate a boundless heart towards all beings. This is the intensity of the loving kindness that we should aim for. Think about a mother. So think about the mother who only has one son, one child, and how much protection and how much care that mother would give to that child. And that is the level of intensity of our loving kindness that we should develop towards all living beings. And enlightened beings have that kind of intensive loving kindness for all beings. Ready any time to protect, to care, to serve, to help other beings. So what Buddha has done in this stanza is that Buddha has found an ordinary an example, an ideal case where Buddha can describe the kind of intensity of loving kindness we need to have. Of course, he could have talked about the enlightened mind, but this is quite easy for everybody to understand because this is a common experience that we all can relate. So this is the ideal case the Buddha wanted us to understand and understand the depth of that loving kindness and have that as a goal, have that as an ideal in our mind, that one day, gradually, we should open our heart, we should make our heart boundless, that we have that kind of intense loving kindness for all living beings. Remember that mother's love for her son is strong only in the intensity, only in the depth. Because mother's love for that only child is very strong, but is limited. It's very strong only in terms of intensity, in terms of depth, but it's not expansive. mother's love is only limited for that son, for that child, but not for all beings. So we have to understand that that is the example for intensity, but we have to expand that beyond that level. So we have to have that intensity, that depth, and then we have to expand that love for all living beings, as we explained in the first paragraphs. So there is a very systematic explanation about loving kindness. First, teaching about how we should prepare, how we should develop certain qualities, certain lifestyle in order to practice loving kindness. Very simple, caring lifestyle, way of living, and then start wishing loving kindness, wishing well-being to different classes of beings, and then talking about the intensity and talking about bringing the loving kindness to higher level, wishing each other also practice loving kindness, and then this stanza is about intensity of loving kindness. And now it further explains other ways that we can practice loving kindness. Number 8 is one other way we can practice loving kindness. Let us read that. Mettancha sabba lokasmin manasang bhavaye aparimanang uddhang adhocha tiriyang che asangbadhang averang asapatthang. Okay. So mettang here means the metta, the loving kindness, the loving friendliness thought, and should be radiated throughout the world, sabbalokasmin. And that kind of mind should be radiated boundlessly, and it explains few directions. Uddhang means above, adho means below, tiriyang means across. So we should develop or radiate that kind of deep loving kindness mind to above, to below, to across. And that is what we did in our early meditation. In the meditation in the morning, we direct our loving kindness different direction across, and we direct it to above and below. So there is other way that we can radiate our loving kindness. That kind of mind should be radiated to all direction. And it's very important, the last one, asambadhang, means without obstruction. That you can radiate your loving kindness to each direction, that you don't find any direction that you cannot radiate loving kindness. And no matter where you radiate your loving kindness, you feel comfortable, and you can radiate your loving kindness to every direction. If we do not develop our loving kindness, maybe when we think about certain direction, oh, that neighborhood, I don't like those people. So there's obstruction there. Oh, that country, I don't want that people to be well and happy. There's obstruction there. That means our loving kindness still need to be improved, So the asambadhang means no obstruction. No matter which direction you think about, no matter beings in which direction you think about, you still can radiate your loving kindness. Oh, it's flowing freely this way, even flowing freely even to Singapore, and even to in other countries and anywhere. No obstruction anywhere. It is like like radar. Like when radar travels, if it hits something, it will return, right? So we should develop our mind in a way that our radar is traveling, it's not hitting anything. There's no obstruction. It can flow through anything. Huh? Laser, yeah. Laser can go through. There's no obstruction. There's no groups of people. There's no area that we cannot radiate loving kindness. So we should come to that level that, oh, never mind, any direction, any way, I can freely radiate my loving kindness, truly wish. Infinite space, in all directions. And then, averang means, of course, non-hatred, without any hatred. And asapatthang. Asapatthang. Actually, sapatthang means an enemy. Asapattang means without any enmity, but also it also has a meaning that enemyless. That you become a person who has no enemy. If somebody asks you, who is your enemy? And you say, oh, we should be speechless. I mean, of course, sometimes we may have, but we should develop our mind, we should grow our relationship with others, and grow our mind to a really full of loving kindness, that we don't have any person in this world, any being in this world, whom I can consider as an enemy. So our loving kindness should be like boundless. And I remember, a few years ago, I was teaching loving kindness meditation to an American lady. Meditation is very new to her. So I explained her loving kindness meditation. You first start with yourself and accept yourself fully, and then gradually you enhance your loving kindness to all the people that you know, the people that you do not know, people living in different areas, different directions. So she was very attentive listening to me, and she really wanted to learn. At the end of all these lessons, she was honest, and she was telling me, I can really practice the way you taught me. I can really radiate loving kindness to all beings, to every direction, but except one person. So she asked, can I practice loving kindness to all beings except that person? That was her sister-in-law. And she was very honest, saying that, that sister-in-law is always giving me trouble. We will never get along with each other, and I have a hard time wishing her well-being. And can I practice loving kindness without her? It's not asapattang. So asapattang means becoming a person that you can radiate loving kindness, that there's no person that you cannot wish well-being. So then I explained to her, okay, you may have a hard time with her. She might have hurt you so much. But, radiating loving kindness, wishing well-being, doesn't mean that we agree with everybody. There are many people, many beings who do things that we cannot approve. So, radiating loving kindness doesn't mean that you embrace everybody, or doesn't mean that you agree with all the things that they are doing. What you are really doing is you genuinely wishing them to be well. So I asked them, okay, don't you like it, to wish your sister-in-law, may she be kind? May she be wise? He said, yes, I want to wish. Yeah, then make that wish. So loving kindness can be, practiced even to terrorists. Because we are making a wish, we are making, that doesn't mean that we agree with them, but we can wish them to be better, we can wish them to be wiser, we can wish them to be kind. So even you can practice loving kindness. So then afterwards she agreed. And actually later they resolved the issue. And I asked her, okay, in that case you have to pay close attention to your sister-in-law and genuinely wish that may she be kind, may she be loving, may she be nice. And whenever you send loving kindness to her, just visualize a smiling face of her, not the ugly face, a smiling face, and send this loving kindness. And she agreed. And after a few months, she came back to Buddhist center. She usually comes to a Wednesday meditation. One day, she came early with a basket of fruits. I said, wow, she has learned some dana, And she wanted to talk to me, and she told me that, Bhante, I have a special thing to share with you. And today something surprising happened. I said, what happened? Today I was shopping in the shopping mall, and my sister-in-law came and talked to me. And usually if we see each other, we usually escape each other and don't talk to each other because, we don't really like each other. But it was surprising. She came and talked to me, and I was surprised, and I also talked to her in a kind and nice manner. And we didn't talk for a few years, so we had so many things to share. And we keep on talking and talking and talking. We forget what the things that we should buy. And so we had that nice chat. And she believed that because she was practicing her loving kindness, towards her, and so she didn't feel threatened by her. Because when you practice your loving kindness, you actually change your countenance, you change your look, change your aura. And so when the people see you, they don't feel threatening. So she was able to come and talk to her, and then she also expressed her love, her friendliness. What is in our heart is expressed through our eyes, through our face, and the word that we choose to speak. So somehow with the practice of that loving kindness, she managed to overcome the ill feelings she had towards her sister that allowed them to overcome their unfriendliness. And she became a good friend, and that is why she brought a basket of fruits on that day. She was so happy. So asapata. So we have to develop our mind in a way that we have no person in the world that we cannot wish well-being. So asapata, without any enmity or enemy. And then, this kind of loving kindness, the Buddha taught us to practice not only while we are sitting, but in all our postures. Let's read the 9 paragraph, stanza 9. Titthaṃ charaṃ nisingno va sayano va yavatassa vigadamidho Etaṃ satiṃ aditteya brahmamettaṃ viharaṃ idamahu. Okay, this kind of mind, this kind of open-hearted, loving-kindness mind should be maintained whether we are sitting, tittam is standing, charang, whether we walk, nisinno, whether we sit. And in all these postures, and also sayano means whether we lie down. So whether we are standing, walking, sitting, or lying down, in whatever posture, we should maintain that kind of mind, except while we are in deep sleep. That is the level of practice we need to develop. Except we are in deep sleep, and we should have that kind of mind. So we should have that mindfulness to remembering to have that kind of mind. So satidya means to remembering, to have that kind of determination, that kind of wish, that kind of mind. If we can do that, if we can develop our mind to that level, that no matter in which posture we are, no matter in which activity we are in, we have that open-hearted, boundless heart for all living beings, always willing everybody to be well and happy. And if we can maintain such a mind, what's going to happen? Brahmamettaṃ viharaṃ idamahu. It is translated here as the highest conduct, but actually, the Brahmamettaṃ viharaṃ idamahu. Brahma means the Brahma world. Brahma vihara means living in the Brahma world. Idamahu. This is like living in the Brahma world right here. If you can develop such a mind, you are like living in the Brahma world, but right here. Like living in heaven right here. That's the meaning. Brahmamettaṃ viharaṃ idamahu. Ida means here. Deva world, because Brahma world, people, the beings are born in the Brahma world when they develop 4 qualities: loving kindness, compassion, altruistic joy, and equanimity. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha. The Deva world is just meritorious, lot of merits. It's simply joyful. It's not necessarily having wisdom. So the Brahma world is higher than Deva world. Deva world means simply you have a lot of merits. But Brahma world is that you have developed your mind. You either to jhanic level, or either Metta, Karuna, Mudita, and Upekkha is more peaceful than the Deva world. Deva world has all the problems that we have. Jealousy, competition with each other, all the power and status. It's the sensual realm. Human beings and all 6 divine Deva realms are within the sensual realm. We have all sensual problems. But the Brahma world is more peaceful. So it is like living on Brahma world right here. So we actually don't don't have to die into live in the Brahma world. We can live right here if we develop our mind. The last one explains the how we can use this loving kindness practice to our spiritual growth, to our attainment of Nibbana, our attainment of enlightenment. So let's read the last one. Ditting cha anupagangma silava dasanena sangpanno kamesu vinaya gedhang nahi jatu gabba seyang punaretiti. Our loving kindness practice should be accompanied by the development of wisdom. Therefore, it is mentioned here that we should develop our awareness and our understanding, but not falling into views. Actually, ditti here means views. It is not translated here. Views. Ditti means views. So we should not attach to dogma or any views, but we should be not falling into views, but being endowed with vision. There's a difference between view and vision. So ditti means view, dasana means vision. What is the difference between view and vision? When we have a view about something, it is some kind of mental formation, it's some kind of belief. You have a view of something when you do not have an experience about it. But when once you experience something, you don't need any more view. You have experienced it, so you have a vision about it. So vision means experience. View means an idea. So about the world, we should not fall into any views, like believing whether it's eternalism or nihilism or materialism or whatever. Those kind of views speculative views. Not falling into any speculative views, but learning from the experience, learning from our actual experience and endowed with vision. And also silava means virtuous, being virtuous. And when you practice loving kindness with this development of wisdom, insightful wisdom, learning from our experiences, learning the impermanence through our experience, not simply attaching to view, learning through experience that there's how our whole personality changes and moves. So all this learning through the experience, impermanence, non-self, everything, but not holding into a view, I only believe this. Simply opening our heart and being ready to learn. So when you have that kind of wisdom and insightful wisdom with loving kindness, with virtuous behavior, what happens? Kamesu vinaya gedhang. We can discard or break our attachment to sensual desires completely. And loving kindness is one way that we can transcend, we can overcome our sensual desires. Because our sensual desire appears when we have a limited attachment, limited view. When we have expansive love, expansive loving kindness, friendliness, and we can dissolve our attachment with specific objects, and then we can open our heart. So that is one way that we can discard attachment to sensual desire. And once you do that, nahi jatu gabba sayyang punaretiti. He will not come again to conceive in a womb. So there are different interpretation of this last line. Because it's a gabba sayyang, gabba means womb. So he will not come again to conceive in a womb. So if you take the literal analysis, it means that you will not come into the human realm or maybe other sensual realm. So that means, it could mean, of course, enlightenment, that you will not be born again at all. But it is specifically mentioned here that you will not come to the mother's womb. Maybe then in that case you will not born in the sensual realm, but maybe in a form or formless realm, which is a Brahma world. Because maybe you still have more to practice, because this is only loving kindness. And of course with certain wisdom and so only if you only practice loving kindness, we can go that far. But it is through the insightful wisdom that we can completely get rid of the whole samsaric journey. But loving kindness is a part of that. So now you understand that loving kindness is not simply wishing; it is a lifestyle, it's a way of living. And even when you wish, you have different categories of wishing, and you also wish other people to wish each other. And you understand the breadth, the expansive nature of loving kindness, and also intensity of loving kindness. So one day we have to go this we have to have this intensity and then develop that intensity to that breadth. That is the perfect level of loving kindness. And then we should practice this loving kindness not only while we are sitting, but also we should gradually develop this mindset, this attitude to maintain in our postures, no matter what we are doing, having that open-heartedness in our heart. Then we will feel like we are living in heaven. We are living in the Brahma world, because we have less conflicts with others. And when you practice that also help you to have develop your spiritual progress. It will help you to get rid of sensual desires, and at least it will help you to go beyond the sensual realm. That will help you to progress to the other steps very easily. So, hope that we learn the loving kindness sutta. And when you read next time, when you chant next time, try to recall and remember this deep meaning. It's a great teaching given by the Buddha. Thank you.